Hello everyone. Okay, I'd like to make a quick point on something that I really think is the core part of change, of improvement. And this thing is fear. Why fear? Because most of the time what prevents us to move, to improve, to change things, to take actions, the one that are required, is the fear. And the fear of what? Most of the time, I really think it's based on fear of rejection. Okay, it's a very common topic, but it's really important because I really think, yeah, that's the core of what prevents us from taking actions and eventually improve our life, really. So, why fear? Just basically, I've already talked about that, but why fear of rejection? Because obviously, if we are to be rejected by everyone, it can be very, very tough to live in those conditions. It depends obviously of what kind of rejection it is. It's not necessarily being rejected by everyone. Anyway, I think that comes back in our mind, in our feelings, like if it was the case. Okay, if we put enough value on some persons, on some systems, on a group of persons, and we think we might be rejected by these persons, it can be, yeah, more or less the same feeling than being rejected by everyone. And obviously, being rejected by everyone, if it depends, but let's take when we were a baby, we couldn't afford to be rejected by everyone because it would just mean being dead. So it can really be something that I think we have felt in many different ways, many different situations throughout our lives, and that's a real feeling of big danger. So in a way, that's natural. So what to do about that? Obviously, we have to be aware that we're not in a situation most of the time that is being rejected by everyone, and that doesn't mean at all being dead, even though we can have those kinds of feeling. That's one thing. Okay, so just to take awareness of the real situation. But the problem about that is that we tend to not look at things that we fear. And I really think that's the core problem. Because if we don't look at things because we feel some sort of fear about it, well, then we avoid things that we need to look at, and we need to take action in this area. And obviously, we are blocked, we are stuck, we cannot move, we cannot improve our life, we cannot reach our goal because of that. And I really think that's a big problem that we encounter a lot of times. So this situation, I think, is really common. It's really the central part of our improvement in life. And at some, it's such true that if you listen to people who achieved many great things, they often come back at this particular point. Some of them just say that I love to hear to big, great entrepreneurs who have made many things, and usually they come back to this point. And some of them just say that basically what they do is they just look at where they have some feelings of fear, and they just take actions in this direction because they know that it's certainly something interesting to do in this area, else it wouldn't be something that they would fear. Sometimes, something like that. And someone said, I remember that big achievements have to go through difficult conversations. So it's more or less the same thing. a conversation that you fear with someone on a subject that you are not at ease with, and well, usually that's those kinds of conversations that will make you improve really in your project. So all those kinds of things are related, but basically where we are fearful of something, of doing something, of taking actions, there is something that we have to take into consideration, and certainly that will make us improve a lot. So I wanted just to make this point because, first of all, that helps me to focus on this area. And what is important here is, try to focus the attention of myself, of you also, just to be aware of what you are fearful, what you try not to look because you're not at ease with any kind of situation, any kind of conversation you should have with someone, any kind of action you think you should take, whatever it can be. This fear is obviously not, the feeling of fear is certainly overrated. It's bigger than the reality of the risk by itself. That's one thing. And then we have to really be aware of that, look at it clearly, speak of it. I think that's a good thing, at least in ourselves, for ourselves, just to I don't know, make it more getting used to this situation that we are fearful. And the more we look at it clearly, and the more we see exactly what is the real risk and what we think is interesting to do, and that makes us really improve, take a big action and really move ahead. So being aware of that, looking at it, speaking of what is fearful to us, and then taking actions, because obviously we have to take action to move ahead. And I think also what we can relate to what I've said earlier is that if we look at what is fearful, but we are also aware of our own power on our life, we know that in the end, everything comes from us, from ourselves. So it means that whatever happens with others, whatever situations we encounter, we have to manage. It just, the end result doesn't depend on those things, on those external things. And if we are aware of that also, that it just depends on myself, well, the fear obviously becomes less and less important. And I think that the more we are aware of that, of those two things, external fears that, feeling of fear about external things that are obviously bigger than they should be, and the awareness of our own power and that in the end we are in control, then things become easier and easier. Our own power, we put more power on ourselves, more value on our power, and we minimize the real risk in life, and then it becomes much more easy. That's why I think we have to focus, to be aware of this almost natural fear we have at first, but we have to look at and to change things. Okay, that's my thought on this important topic. So don't hesitate to argue for or against what I said, whatever it can be. It's interesting to continue to be more aware of all that. Okay, thank you very much, and I see you soon. Bye.